how are you?
Not so bad. Yourself?
My name's Alicia, and you are?
Chris.
Hi, Chris, your company sent you over today so I could go over token economies with you. You work with a classroom of 3 children right now with autism?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm going to do first is, can you just read this over, and it's like a pre-test to see if you already know anything about token economies and things like that. Just want to read that over and
Okay.
see what your answers are.
I'll tell you my answers.
Good. So you see that you already know quite a bit about token economies anyways, even when you pick them out of different answers. Now, a token economy is meant to implement good behavior. So you give out tokens for good behavior, um, and it's immediately. So when you find that you have one of your students that said excuse me when they're trying to get by another student, or if you see another student picking up someone else's pencil, or whatever you decide what good behavior and what bad behavior is, you immediately give them a token. We are going to talk about tokens. Okay. So in a token economy, the behavior that you want is strengthened. The backup enforcers or reinforcers, and the students use the tokens to get them. How and when the tokens are to be exchanged needs to be known, so you need to decide that and tell your students. Is it going to be 2.5 days? Is it going to be 5 days that they're allowed to collect tokens to exchange in? If needed, a response cost, and a response cost is when you give them the tokens, you can also take them away for bad behavior. And that goes in not at the very beginning. You actually implement the token economy first, and then start using response cost once you know that everyone understands what good behavior is.
So you give them one for being good, and then later on you take them away?
Yeah, and you can put a different cost on some things, and we'll go over that in a minute. And you also should limit the number of tokens that a student can have at one time, because the student will actually stockpile them. Once they figure it out, they'll stockpile their tokens, and if you have a week, then they might want something that costs 30 tokens, and if you have no response cost at this beginning time, then they will collect 30 tokens, and then they can be bad for 2 days or 3 days, whatever's left of the time. So you have to say, once you have 30 tokens, you have to trade them in, and then they have to start all over again. What behavior do you want? So your first step is to decide what behavior is needed. So if any of your children are hands-on, if they end up hitting each other, anything like that, Maybe you just want them to sit at their desks and be quiet, you know, and do their work and things like that. So you want to decide what behavior to reward. Now, what do you use as tokens? There's a many different things, and I have an extra handout here with all of them listed out. These are just a few. So you can use poker chips, check marks on a board, anything like that, and there's a bunch of things on there too. You can set up strings that they carry around and put beads on the strings. Or you can, you know, use hole punches, just punch a hole on a card that they carry around. Now, try to do it with things that can't be duplicated. Or lost. And you know, what you're going to have is a master list, no matter what. So you go out, you hand your student the bead, and you go back to your desk and check off that you gave them a bead on a master list, because then you know that you are not going to have them going out and buying a bunch of beads, and you know that, you know, if they lose them, how many they have exactly. So your backup reinforcers, okay, can be a bunch of things, and I've got another handout here and with a bunch of other reinforcers. So these are the kind of things that they are collecting points to get.